All right, thanks for waiting a whole weekend to see this. So what is missing from the MCU that's not keeping fans engaged anymore? Personally, I think it has to do with two things. And those two things are having a cohesive story and characters that we care about. So let's dig deeper into the characters that we care about. So when Iron Man was released in 2008, he became our focused character. He was someone that was relatable, he had his flaws, but he overcame them and we were rooting for him. And we wanted to see his story arc continue because we'd grown to love him, even just for one movie. And then before any of the other Avengers showed up, unless you want to argue about the Incredible Hulk that came out in 2008 as well, but then we got Iron Man 2, which was another movie for us to grow closer to Tony. And of course in Iron Man 2, we got a taste of Black Widow and we got to like her more. And then when Captain America and Thor came out in 2011, we got to know those characters more too. And got a taste of Hawkeye in the Thor movie too. So it's nice to get to know characters who had flaws, who overcame them, who still had much more to overcome. Another thing that the MCU did well early is that we found a villain that everyone liked. And then we saw those characters grow together in the Avengers movie. And then finally at the end of that Avengers movie, we got a tease for Thanos. Obviously right now there's way too many characters to care about. We've been teased so many new characters and we have no idea where we're gonna see them again. We have a handful of series on Disney Plus and we don't know how those all connect into the whole story either. And speaking of stories, let's talk about MCU's cohesive timeline, which seems to be pulling us in way too many directions. The only common theme seems to be the multiverse. But having way too many universes and way too many characters is causing us a lot of problems. So what should have been done? Again, let's go back to the Infinity Saga. So the end credit scenes of Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor all teased Nick Fury creating the Avengers. So you knew we were heading in that direction and we were very excited for it. But even if you didn't know the Avengers existed, he at least knew that all these characters are going to meet up at some point. And it would be awesome because you've already fallen in love with all these characters. And once they did meet up in the Avengers movie, at the end we were introduced to Thanos. So we knew Thanos was going to be a big important role in the rest of the Infinity Saga. And then of course we were introduced to the Guardians of the Galaxy who introduced us to the Infinity Stones. But even then, as we were introduced to new people in the Infinity Saga like Scott Lang and Bucky, each person had a purpose. So again, there's this through timeline that we could follow and that we wanted to see till the end. Yeah, but let's look at now. So we were introduced to Kang at the end of Loki season 1. And because Jonathan Majors performed that role so well, that's when Marvel knew they wanted Kang to be the baddie through the multiverse saga. The problem is if you're not on Disney Plus, you would have no idea who Kang was if you did not see the end of Loki season 1. So if you go to Ant-Man Quantumania, you're introduced to Kang. Even though they do a good job at introducing what Kang's big motive was, you still could have felt like there was something missing. Then of course at the end of Ant-Man Quantumania, we're introduced to the Council of Kang, so you know there's something that's going to happen. Except it feels like the only people that are talking about Kang are Scott Lang and Loki. Kang wasn't really involved in anything else. There's nothing as driving to go see the next movie, the next movie, the next movie to see what's going to happen next. Obviously, we have to give Marvel a little wiggle room because Chadwick Boseman's death was very unexpected. And of course, the accusations against Jonathan Majors are making Marvel rethink and pivot who they may have the new baddie in the multiverse saga be. So they're this far in, how are they going to fix it? Check out my video on Wednesday for my idea of how they could possibly reverse all this madness. But until then, comment below and let me know which baddie you'd like to see as the new villain in the MCU. Again, the caveat is they can't say Dr. Doom. But if you don't have an idea, let me know who you'd like to see recast as Kang. I mean, why not recast them? Variants in other universes are different people too.